Ladies and gentlemen, fire up the group chat because the Indiana Fever just dropped a bomb on the WNBA offseason, one so loud you might still feel the shockwaves when opening night tips off. And imagine a roster where a record-smashing rookie, 2 Rookies of the Year, 3 max contract veterans, and more playoff rings than some franchises own, all squeeze into the same huddle. That's not a hypothetical. That's the graphic that leaked across X and Instagram late last night, and it has every rival coach frantically redrawing their game plans before the ink on free agency contracts even dries. So here's what set the internet ablaze. The rumored starting 5 flashes on screen: Caitlin Clark at the 1, Kelsey Mitchell at the 2, DeWanna Bonner sliding to the wing, Natasha Howard patrolling power forward, and 2023 Rookie of the Year Aaliyah Boston planted in the paint. 2 Rookie of the Year trophies sit on that shelf. Bonner brings 15 years of playoff scars and 2 championships. Howard packs another 3 rings and a Defensive Player of the Year plaque. Max money, max pressure, and quite possibly maximum chaos for opposing defenses. Let's start with the engine. Caitlin Clark isn't just a shooter. You already know about those logo 3s. She's the FedEx of highlight reel passes, delivering dime drops on time, anywhere. Coach Stephanie White has zero interest in keeping her glued to the top of the key. The plan is pure motion, Steph Curry style, sprinting Clark through pin downs, split cuts, and decoys that leave defenders chasing phantoms. When Clark relocates to the weak side corner, eyes follow her like a spotlight, and that spotlight stretches the floor wider than the state of Indiana itself. Now pair that gravity with Kelsey Mitchell, a walking 20-piece who already ranks among the league's most unguardable ISO scorers. Last season, teams blitzed her with double teams and still watched her pull-up package torch nets. Add Clark's pinpoint kickouts, and Mitchell's clean look percentage goes from rare to routine. Pick your poison, load up on Mitchell and Clark detonates, chase Clark off screens, and Mitchell slices you one-on-one. Enter DeWanna Bonner, the Swiss Army wing with the wingspan of a Boeing and a resume stuffed with postseason daggers. Sight turn news 99. She doesn't just stretch the floor, she bends matchups until they snap, guarding 2s through 4s without blinking. Slot next to her Natasha Howard, freshly re-signed to the franchise that drafted her, a 3-time champion whose fast break lane runs end with 2-hand finishers and whose weak side blocks ignite roars from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Howard's arrival patches Indiana's one glaring wound from last season: rim protection and transition muscle. And then there's Aaliyah Boston. She doesn't hunt shots, she hunts advantages. High IQ seals, ballet-level footwork, and that underrated outlet pass make her the perfect dance partner for Clark's run-and-gun rhythm. Coach White practically beamed when she said Clark and Boston could go down among the great point-post duos in basketball history. Set a rock-solid screen, roll, receive a look-away bullet, 2 points, reset. The fundamentals never looked so flashy. But a championship orchestra needs more than first-chair virtuosos. It needs a ruthless 6th woman. Enter Sophie Cunningham. When reports hit that she'd be coming off the bench, she could have sulked. Instead, she flashed her trademark grin and said, "I didn't come for the spotlight. I came to win." Energy, toughness, and a 38% clip from Deep Mean Sophie is the plug-and-play piece White can slide anywhere. Small ball 4 to spread the floor, wing stopper on a hot scorer, or instant offense spark when Clark rests a beat. Cunningham doesn't ride alone. Lexi Hull quietly led the league in 3-point percentage after the All-Star break, raining corner triples while hounding guards baseline to baseline. Brianna Turner, a 2-time all-defensive team forward, joined via free agency and brings bone-rattling screens plus rim insurance whenever Boston sits. And then there's Sydney Colson, veteran floor general, locker room comedian, and on-court conductor when Clark needs a breather. Line them up, and Indiana's second unit could outclass the starting 5s of several teams that made the playoffs last year. Coach White holds 9 legitimate starters in her pocket. She can go jumbo. Howard at the 5, Cunningham at the 4, Bonner at the 3. Switch everything, smother you. She can go lightning quick. Clark, Colson, Mitchell, Hull, Boston, sprint you off the floor, and she can yank mismatches like cards from a deck mid-quarter, keeping legs fresh while rivals gasp for oxygen. Depth flips tight games into blowouts. It's why last season's single-digit losses could morph into double-digit wins. Indiana's new mantra? Make plays, not run plays. The half-court sets are merely launch pads. Horns into inverted pick and rolls, flare screens morphing into backdoor lobs, Spain actions with Clark sprinting opposite direction to the arc, double the ball and a cutter slips behind, help on the cutter, and Clark reloads for a 28-footer. It's basketball jazz, structured yet improvisational, forcing defenses to guess the tune while the Fever play 3 notes ahead. One subplot raised eyebrows. Indiana left Temi Fagbinley unprotected in the expansion draft despite photos of her grinding in early morning workouts, choosing instead to shield Dearest Dantas. Analysts wonder if GM Lynn Dunn is banking on skill set diversity or a mid-season trade chip. Either way, it signals a front office unafraid to gamble pieces to perfect the puzzle. So, what does all this mean for powerhouses like Las Vegas and New York? The Aces' smaller front court could drown under Howard Boston double teams. The Liberty's switching scheme might stretch to a breaking point, chasing 5 shooters who can all pass. If preseason scrimmages hint at reality, we may watch a former lottery team speed run straight into championship contention and do it with swagger, smiles, and viral highlights every night. Fever Nation, strap in. This isn't a rebuild, it's a rebirth. Opening night, you won't just see a generational shooter or a blockbuster free agency haul. You'll witness a 9-deep wave intent on hanging the next banner in Indianapolis. Smash that like button, drop your hottest lineup take in the comments, and hit subscribe so you never miss a second of the ride. Because if the leaked lineup is anywhere near the truth, the Indiana Fever aren't coming, they've already arrived.